It's Jenna, what is up, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see, I do not have any makeup on. I was going to film my intro after I was finished doing this makeup tutorial, but your girl forgot, so I took off the makeup. But you guys saw it before this clip. I am doing a half dance competition makeup, half normal makeup, if that makes sense. I wanted to kind of show you guys the difference between what my everyday makeup looks like and then what competition makeup looks like, because with competition makeup, you really have to emphasize different features on your face because people are seeing you from a far distance away. On stage, there's tons of lights, so dance competition makeup I feel is a lot different than normal makeup. So yeah, if you are interested in seeing the differences and just the different things that I do, then just keep on watching. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's do it. Hey guys, so my skin is ready to go. I did clean it and then I also moisturized it with the Tatcha, the water cream, which if you have not checked out, that moisturizer, guys. It is so good. Apparently people do use that as their primer as well, but I am gonna go in with the Smashbox. This is the primer water, and I actually learned this from James Charles, but you wanna use a water-based primer if you're using a water-based foundation, which I'm going to be using the Too Faced Peach Perfect. I don't know if this is technically water-based, but it says no oil, so I'm gonna assume that's water-based. Not silicone-based, I don't know. That's just how I take it. So I'm going to be spraying my face with this. Ooh, girl. Prime the skin. Ooh, that tastes really bad. If anyone thinks this is just water, it's not. That is definitely not water. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that dry, and then, like I said, we're gonna go in with the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation. This is in the color Nude, which is a little bit darker because I do have a slight tan. I'm more tan than I usually am, let me just tell you. So I'm going to pump a little bit onto this beauty blender, which has a hair on it, and we are gonna go in. Obviously, because I'm doing one half of my face natural and then one half of my face dance competition makeup, I am going to put foundation on my whole face, but then I am gonna add a little bit of extra to the side that I'm going to do competition makeup, because with competitions, you really want to have a full coverage foundation. You want your face to look perfect, but with natural makeup, you don't necessarily need that much foundation. So we're gonna go in, dot this all over my face. Okay, so that is the first layer done of the foundation. Like I said, I am actually going to put one more pump on the left side of my face, and this is going to be for the competition side. And like I said, with all the bright lights and stuff, you want to have really good coverage, and you also want to make sure that your foundation is not too light for your skin tone, because with all the lights, you do not want to look like an absolute ghost on stage. So, okay, so moving on to the next step, we're gonna go in with concealer. Having a bright under eye is really, really important for both natural and competition makeup. So I am going to do this on both sides, and I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. Okay, so the concealer is all blended in. We're gonna move on to baking. I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier. This is the translucent powder, both sides. I did want to mention that, like, the starting kind of things, the base of the makeup, for both of these looks are pretty similar. I think the main difference between a natural look and a dance competition look is definitely in the eyeshadow, the blush, and the lipstick. So you guys will see a lot more differences later on in the video. I'm just kind of trying to get this done before we move on to everything else. But I still did want to show you because there is a few differences, like I said, with just more coverage with the dance competition side and just a little bit more natural, obviously, on the natural side. Baking is really important with the dance competition makeup. Drag makeup is actually where baking came into play. And pretty much drag queens are honestly, like, I would say similar to dancers. They're both performing, they're both on stage, in the light, dancing, sweating, and baking really just prolongs your makeup and allows you to go on stage and sweat. You all know when you go to a dance competition and you're on stage and you're dancing, you're gonna sweat. Okay, so next up, I am gonna take my Anastasia Brow Wiz and I am gonna do my brows. I'm gonna do this off camera just because we want to save a little bit of time, and also a lot of people's brows are different. Some people don't do their brows. Brows are not really a thing that you have to do, just depending on your personal preference. So if you normally do your brows on a day-to-day basis, this would be the point where you would do your brows, fill them in, make them a little bit more prominent, and then move on to the next step. But if you don't do your brows, then you don't have to do this step. But yeah, I'm gonna do it and I will be right back. Okay, so the brows are now done, but I am going to wipe off the baking powder. Okay, so this is the base of our makeup. Next, we're gonna go into face stuff. So we're gonna do a bronzer, blush, and highlighter. You guys will see that this is kind of where the looks are going to start to differentiate. Is that the right word? But first, we're gonna go in with some bronzer, which I'm going to use the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I am gonna do the neutral or natural side first. And what I like to do, this is just like my everyday makeup. We're going to just do a natural smoked out bronzer. Nothing crazy. I don't really like to do like a ton of contouring. I kind of just like to take this bigger brush, tap it off a ton, and kind of just go in, not really specifically. And you guys can see that it's just very diffused and very just natural, which is what we're going for. And then I'm also gonna take a little bit and go up here on my temple and around my hairline. And that is pretty much all I do on the natural side. So that is what it looks like. We're going to move on to this side, which I am gonna go in with a different brush at first. This is a little bit more of a precise bronzing brush slash contour brush. This is the Pro Contour Sweep. So you're gonna take this with the bronzer and I'm gonna get quite a bit of product on there, and I am going to just really sculpt out my jawline. When you're on stage, obviously you don't have to do this, but I feel like it does make your face look a lot better on stage. We're really getting in there. And like I said, you really want to get that jawline, but then you also want to get in there and blend it out. Okay guys, so I tried to blend this out as much as I could. It is a little bit muddy right now, which I'm not too happy about. But like I said, with competition makeup, it's more about what the makeup looks like from afar rather than up close. So you guys are up close right now. This side definitely looks a lot better. This side, you can tell that this side, you just need to be a little bit more precise with the application. This side is a little bit more blown out and diffused, but I am gonna go in with a little bit more bronzer, obviously not on my cheekbones, but we are going to put a little bit on the temple and bring it up to the forehead like we did the other side. This is very similar. The other thing I like to do with competition makeup is I like to put bronzer underneath my jaw. Moving on to blush, this is where it really differentiates between the two. I like a peach blush personally on an everyday basis, so I'm gonna go in with this right here. This is the Benefit blush in Coralista. This is definitely one of my favorite peachy blushes. I put a little bit on my blush brush, tap that off, put it on the apples, and then blend it back. And again, natural makeup, I don't put a ton of blush on, and it's really just to give you a little bit of color like that. So that is that side. And then we're gonna move on to the other side, which, guys, this might look a little bit crazy, but blush is a very important thing when it comes to competition makeup. If you ever see a competitive dancer, you will know because of the pink blush, which I'm going to be using this one right here. This was actually the blush that we are told to buy for competition. That's another thing that I wanted to mention was depending on your studio, they might give you a list of certain products that you need to purchase and that you need to use. Ours was this one right here, which is Desert Rose by MAC. I've had this blush for so long, but it's just a really, really dark pink color, which is definitely not what I would choose to wear on an everyday basis. But I am going to put this right on the apples of my cheeks and bring it back. Okay, so blush is all done. These are the two different sides. You guys can tell this is a lot more bright and out there, but again, you really want to be able to see your cheeks on stage. And honestly, there's been times where I've thought I put on so much blush, and then my teacher's like, Jenna, you need to go put some more blush on because you don't have enough on. So when in doubt, just put more friggin' blush on because apparently it's very, very important in competition dancing. Anyways, we're gonna move on to highlighter. When I was in competition, highlighter wasn't really a thing, and I don't think it's a huge thing in competition makeup now anyways, because when you're on stage, there's a ton of lights and you don't want your highlighter to be too crazy and kind of flashback the judges. It can be very distracting to them, obviously, if at certain lights your face is shining in their faces. So I'm gonna put a little bit more highlighter on my natural side just because this is something that I really, really like to have when it comes to my everyday makeup. I am using this palette right here. This is the Anastasia Nicole Guerrero highlighter palette, and I am using this shade right here, which is Forever Lit. It is the super white shade, and I'm the kind of person that just loves a good blinding highlight. And we are gonna put a little bit of highlighter on this side, but I'm gonna go in with Kitty Cat, which is a little bit more of a pinky based highlight. And we're gonna just put a tiny, tiny bit on there. That is it. That's all you need. You don't wanna go overboard with highlight when it comes to competition makeup. So you're not distracting the judges and they're looking at your dancing, not your shiny face. Okay, so I moved in a little bit closer because we are going to get started on the eyes, which I'm gonna do the natural eye first just because I don't really do a ton of eyeshadow when it comes to natural looks. So I'm gonna go in with this brush right here. This is a Sephora Pro crease brush. It's just a big fluffy crease brush, and I am going to be using this palette for both eyes. This is the new Anastasia Soft Glam eyeshadow palette. I have Modern Renaissance, and I would definitely compare them together, and they are very similar. Not similar in colors, but similar in the formula. But this is so, so pretty. Goodbye, brush. We didn't want you anyways. But this is what I'm going to be using for both looks. Like I said, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use this Tempura shade right on the outside. It's just a matte nude color, and this I'm just gonna put all over my lids. I'm gonna actually do this on both eyes just to prep my eyelids for all of the shadow and set the concealer that we had on there before. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more of a precise crease brush, not super precise though. I believe this is from a set from Sephora as well, but there is no name on it. But it's a little bit more of a precise crease brush. If you guys can see, ooh, I'm doing the fancy beauty guru things. But I'm gonna go in with a pretty neutral shade. We have this one over here. This is called Dusty Rose, and this shade I use pretty much on an everyday basis. It's a very pretty dusty rose color, obviously, and we're just going to put this right in our crease, and then we're just going to focus it on the outer crease and then bring it in, and then I just do windshield wiper motions to blend that in. And then we're also gonna go in with a flat brush. This is actually from e.l.f. This is one of my oldest eyeshadow brushes, but I still use it to this day. This is the e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush, which it's just like a flat, you know, packing brush, I guess. But I'm gonna go in with Fairy, I believe that's what it is. And it's just a really pretty light gold shade. And we're not gonna put a ton of that on, but we are just going to put a little bit on our lid, like so. And then again, we're gonna go in with that same blending brush, the big one, big fluffy guy. And we're just going to blend that all together. We're gonna move on to the competition eye, which is probably what you guys are waiting for. This is, I would say, the most important part of competition makeup, and that is to really make your eyes shine on stage. So we're going to go in with that same blending brush. I'm gonna try to wipe it off a little bit because we're not going to be using that dusty rose color. We're gonna go in, I do like to go in with like a darker brown, but we are gonna go in with a little bit of a lighter brown first. So we're gonna go in with Rustic. It is this guy right here. It's a little bit more of a warm brown. And then we're gonna go in with the darker one beside it at a later time. We're gonna put a little bit of this on our brush, and then just like the dusty rose color, I'm just gonna put this right in my crease. You literally just put your eyeshadow brush in the crease of your eyeball, keep your eye open, and just go windshield washer motion in that little crease that your eyeball makes. I'm trying to make this really easy. There were some girls at my dance studio that were asking me to teach them how to do their makeup, so this is me trying to do that. So you're welcome, ladies. You know who you are. Now we're gonna go in with that Cypress Umber color right there. Go in with this guy. This is another e.l.f. makeup brush. Very, very inexpensive. So if you are looking for brushes for your competition makeup, I would recommend e.l.f. But this is the e.l.f. contour brush, and we are going to dip into the Cypress Umber color, which is a really, really dark brown color. If anything, I would just recommend putting a dark brown in your crease. You don't necessarily have to go in with that transition color, but you really want to have that dark, dark color in your crease to really emphasize the crease of your eye. So this brush, I just kind of like to get it into the crease, but then I am gonna go in with this guy right here, and I am going to blend that out just to make everything kind of flow together and not look crazy. Okay, so next up, I'm gonna go back to the neutral eye because I did forget to do a little bit of smoking of the under eye. So I'm gonna go in with the same shade that we put in the crease on the natural side, and that was the Dusty Rose shade right there. We're gonna tap that off, and I'm just going to put this right on my lower lash line. Okay, so moving back to the dance competition eye, we are gonna go in with this liner brush right here. This is the Pro Brow. I don't actually use this for brows, but we are gonna go in with the black shade, which I know sounds a little bit scary, and we are going to put this on our lower lash line, which this is probably one of the most important things to do with a competition look. Often with makeup, we do not put black eyeliner underneath our lower lash line just because it is very intense, it's very unnatural looking, but like I said, with competition makeup, you want to accentuate every part of your face. That includes your lower lash line, and it really just puts a big kind of emphasis on your eye and your eye shape. So we do want to put a little bit on that, and then we are just going to put this as close to the bottom lash line as we possibly can, and we're just dragging it up to the top of our eye. I'm gonna go in with, where did it go? I believe this was it. I'm going to try to get all of that Dusty Rose off, but I am gonna go in and kind of smoke out this lower lash line a little bit with that black, but like I said, you do want it to be decently precise. Okay, and then the last step for the competition eye is to go in with just a really light beige shimmery color. You want your eyelid to be very bright compared to your crease, so we are gonna go in with this one here. There wasn't really a bright shimmery shade in the Soft Glam palette. The only two were very gold colored, which are these two right here. And you don't really want to put golds on your eyes. You kind of want to keep it very neutral and very cool toned, I guess. So I'm gonna go in with this one. This is a single eyeshadow in the shade Sin from Urban Decay, and this is probably one of my favorite shades. And we're just going to pack this on probably the inner third to inner half of your eye. The liner that I'm gonna use for the natural side is this one here. This is from Rimmel, and this is just like a beige color. and this really just brightens your eyes and it just is very natural. So yeah, that is for that side. And then, if you guessed it, we're gonna go in with a nice dark black eyeliner. We are going to put the black in the waterline. Normally people do not like to do this, but this again is very, very important when it comes to competition makeup. So that is going to be for that. And then also on this side, we're gonna go in with a liquid eyeliner. This is the Kat Von D ink tattoo liner, whatever it's called. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do a wing on this side. And with competition makeup, you want your wing to be pretty fierce, and you do want it to be pretty lengthy, if that makes sense. Okay, so my wing is all done. You guys can see that it is pretty intense. But next up, and lastly for the competition eye, we are gonna put on some lashes, which these are actually the lashes that we are told to buy for competition at my dance studio. They are very intense, very black eyelashes with rhinestones on them. So yeah, competition makeup is just very, very extra. So for the competition side, I am going to use mascara, but it is just to kind of combine my natural lashes with the fake lashes. And then this side, I just like to add a little bit of mascara for some definition. Sometimes when I am doing pretty natural makeup, I skip mascara, but for today, we're gonna put the mascara on both sides. And again, these competition lashes are a little intense. Okay, so moving into the last step in this makeup tutorial, that is lips. We're gonna go in with 2 different MAC lip shades. The first one is Ruby Woo. This has been my baby, my competition companion for my entire dance career. Not really career, dance time. But this I've had the entire time I've been competing. This is all I have left of this color, but this was the color requested by our dance studio. Everyone wears it. It is a retro matte, which is like matte. If you put this on, it will not move. It's so hard to get off, but I'm going to be using it today. And then I'm also on the other side going to be using this. This is Myth by MAC. This is a satin, so I don't know how. I'm gonna try to do like half and half lips. It's gonna be very difficult, but yeah, this is definitely like my favorite neutral lip color to use. So that is everything for this makeup tutorial. That's both sides. This looks crazy, but you guys can tell this is definitely very crazy, but it is what I've always done for dance competitions. And if you are a competitive dancer, you know how much makeup you have to put on to really make your face pop on stage. So yeah, this is the neutral look here. Very natural, very pretty. And then we have this crazy side. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, and also comment down below any other kind of makeup tutorials that you guys would like to see. Like I told you guys, I really want to start doing makeup tutorials more because I love doing my makeup and I love kind of sharing with you guys different skills and stuff, which again, like I said, I'm not a beauty guru, so please do not comment that I did anything wrong. This is just how I've always done my competition makeup and just my natural makeup, so yeah. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, if you did enjoy this video, and yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys. So it's been a bit since I've talked to you last. I think the last thing you guys saw was me doing my makeup, and I did a red lip today and I'm really liking it with the roses on the shirt. Just feeling my brand right now. But I'm currently running to the grocery store because I promised to make